We're playing really hard and we're playing really unselfish.
Iyoob wide open, corner three, string music! Welcome to the 2025 Marywood Women's Basketball Courtside Callback presented by TV-Marywood. I'm Vincent Goldschmidt, alongside me Corey Iyoob and Matt Anastasi. Boys, glad to have you tonight.
Yeah, glad to see you, Vinny. I'm so excited to recap this Pacers basketball season.
Couldn't be more excited to be on, recap a great season, a fun season, let's dive into it.
Before we actually get into the season, though, I want to talk about your guys' experience. Corey, you expanded your role broadcasting. Matt, this was your first time broadcasting Marywood sports.
Yeah, it was definitely a change. I did some football kind of early on, but, now I'm here. It's just a completely different, type of thing. It's a very serious broadcast we got here, and, couldn't be thankful for the opportunity and, just grateful for everybody that, is part of our team.
Yeah, and as for me, last season did a lot of sideline and camera work. But this season, though, a lot of color, did play-by-play, which is a dream of mine. That's what I want to do. And to be your number two is it's a privilege, Vinny. It really was.
I'm glad that you think that. Now, you mentioned last season for the Pacers, safe to say wasn't their best season in program history.
Yeah, last season, 8-16. It was their worst season really since 05-06. Looking into 2025 to turn it around.
Yeah, when you're coming off a worse record like that, it's just tough. The vibes are down. It's not a great culture. So it's just that's the first step of rebuilding. So coming off that, it was a big step, and you see what they did.
You mentioned building culture. They made a coaching change. Jen Carlton out and Tara Machado returning to the helm of the women's basketball team. Spent 14 seasons here as the head coach and returned, and what a way she returned.
Absolutely, and you know what I mean? It's just an awesome opportunity. Not many people get that opportunity to return back to a place where they had so much success. And, it was just a different thing. She really had to implement kind of the structure she wanted. And you saw multiple times this year in the games the success that the Pacers had on the court. So I was very much impressed with the coaching change.
Yeah, and I guess for Pacer players, getting her back, I don't think they were really, in my opinion, I don't think they were too worried because she's been here before. It's a familiar ground for her. So, yeah, I think it was the best opportunity, they could have gotten.
Unfortunately for this team, she came into a good position. She only lost a couple of players, but she really replenished the crop and really brought in a bunch of great players for this team.
Yeah, and gained 7 freshmen. We got the Bittenbender sisters, Alexia Bauer, Emma Maddage, Miranda Cantor. There's a lot of great names, even a couple of transfers with Megan Cavoli and Taylor Simpson, who left the team mid-season. A lot of good names.
And you know what? It's very interesting, bringing in 7 freshmen, and I think you saw a lot of them play immediate and a lot of impactful minutes. So, that's going to be really big heading into next year. And obviously, getting 2 great players out of the portal, was huge. So, we'll see what they do coming up this fall.
Yeah, and they were great this year, and I had the opportunity to sit down with head coach Tara Machado before the season. How are we feeling, your first year back in a few years? How are we feeling about your squad this year?
It's really exciting to be back. My time at Marywood was unbelievable. I'm thrilled to be back here and be able to build this program back. And we have some great experience in our upperclassmen, and then we brought some great underclassmen talent in. So I think there's a really good mesh. So I think the excitement is really high. The girls are really eager to get out there and start competing.
What was the recruiting process like, and how did you rejuvenate a squad that was only had about 9 or 10 players?
I think the day I got the call and was offered the job, that night I started getting on the phone. And my first call was to the Bittenbender twins from Scranton High School. I coached them in AAU. I knew that they were still kind of open in the recruiting process, and made a call to them and said, let's get you on campus right away, and then started reaching out to as many people as I could think of in the basketball world to try to get a couple more bodies in here. Olivia Chulo was somebody I reached out to immediately as well, to make sure we got her back. She was healthy, back playing. So I think just really hit the ground running and try to get some of the local players too back interested in the program.
For the first time tonight, we welcome a Pacer, Rachel McDonald. Rachel, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Now, you were entering your senior season, a new head coach for your last year. How was that going into this last season?
I knew her just because she's from around the area, but I never actually got to talk to her until this year. But she's been great, and it's just been, a lot of change just because she came in, she brought a lot of new people, and then transfers, and then a lot of returners from last year as well. So.
Now, Rachel, early on in the season, those first couple of games, were you able to be kind of a mentor for some of those newer freshmen coming in?
Yeah, I definitely tried to be. just because I know the college game is a lot different than high school, even just with the shot clock alone, but it's just much faster paced. It's just totally different, so I definitely try to be there for the younger people.
Kind of bouncing off Corey's question, just like how was it like taking on that role? Obviously, you were at one point a freshman, you know, you were looking up to a senior, now you're looking down on them. Just talk about how that role was.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's hard coming into college. Like I started at Misericordia, so I was once there before, so I know what it's like, and just being able to have somebody to look up to helped me personally, so I just like to return it back and help my teammates as much as possible.
And you could tell that team camaraderie, that culture was really set early in the season. You know, you split your first 2 games on the road, but then you returned home for your first home game of the season. The first time Tara Machako had coached in Scranton as Marywood's coach in over 2,400 days.
That's a long, long time, Vinny. But we had some big numbers, big playmakers in that game. Of course, Rachel had 22, 13 of those in the first quarter. 8 of 13 from the field, 5 of 9. And also Megan Cavoli, 12 points, 8 assists, 2 steals. The offense was busy in that one.
No, they were just extremely efficient from the field, just getting a lot of like looks inside, which was really a great foundation to their success. So it was a really great way to start off the season.
As we look into the Pacers' first home game of the season. Clemic jumper finds it. As Marywood also in a press, Cavoli gets the steal, tough layup, able to spin it home. Great job by the transfer guard. Cross court pass, McDonald triple, hits. Pacers save it. Chulo 2 for $1, tough finish. Cavoli into McDonald, thinking corner 3, step back triple. That one home, McDonald on absolute fire. McDonald heat check, automatic. Rachel McDonald, you give it to her, she will make you pay. Chulo back, McDonald wide open in the corner. You bet, every single time she shoots, she makes. Woods in transition. McDonald setting up card, finishing. From one Pacer guard to another, from Rachel McDonald, we have Megan Cavoli. Megan, thank you for coming on tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Now, you had played at 2 other schools in your first 2 collegiate seasons. You know, joining the Pacers in your 3rd year, how was it making that adjustment?
Honestly, I kind of had experience because I had transferred 2 times before. So the second time coming to a new program, obviously, like, all the girls were, like, new to me. So it was hard at first, but they were very welcoming, and it was easy to adapt.
How was your first impressions with Coach Machako?
So I actually found out about her from a friend, and I loved her from the start. Like, I was like excited to come here, and she's a great coach.
You know, keeping it going kind of with being a transfer, right? In that game against Juniata, your career high 19, 6 and 6. So in a game like that, right, when you just transfer in, is it important to kind of have like a weight lifted off your shoulder to have a great start to being into a new program?
It definitely is a weight lifted off my shoulders. Like, it is a new program, so it's like nobody knows how I play. So it kind of was like I had nothing to lose, so I tried to like put it all out on the floor.
You know, as Matt mentioned, after that first win against Rutgers, you guys faced Juniata just a couple days later, and you were excellent in that game, as well as Olivia Chulo.
Yeah, Olivia Chulo, 9 points, 14 rebounds, 3 steals. Again, just a great job by the offense, and even the defense, I mean, holding Juniata to just 53 points.
It really stuck out for me, 36% from beyond the arc. You know, got a lot of great shooters on this team, and you saw it right there.
As we look in at the Pacers' 2nd consecutive home victory. It gets a screen, pick and roll, kick. Blume thinking 3 and getting 3. Mia Blume with the first points of the afternoon. Chulo sets one, kick, corner, Blume 3, yes! As the final 10 seconds. Bittenbender, corner 3, yes! Finley Bittenbender with the trifecta, kills it from the corner. Skenders finds McDonald, thinking 3, and getting in, Rachel McDonald. The final minute, Blume way downtown, yes! Mia Blume from a different area code. As 10 on the shot clock, kick, corner, Cavoli 3. Yes, sir! Megan Cavoli putting Marywood ahead by 7. Chulo out, Cavoli, 8 on the shot clock, deep 3. Doesn't matter, Megan Cavoli assisted by Chulo. Thinking about the deep ball, now driving baseline, Cavoli again. You know it, Megan Cavoli catching fire in the 4th as a timeout's called. Marywood clinches another home victory. Corey, Matt, one of the perks of this season was the Pacers got a ton of home games, and they had one right after this against Keystone. And Corey, this was your first time doing play-by-play.
Yeah, it was. I did it with the great Soren Swanson, and what a game it was. I mean, Olivia Chulo, 20 points, 7 of 13, 3 rebounds. Just an impressive game for the offense, and definitely a memorable first call for me.
What a great first game to call. I mean, it was Keystone came out the gate fired. I think it was a 20-7 or 19-7 lead. And, Marywood battles back, but real impressive. I think 46% from the field, so getting back in it without having to bomb threes, that's impressive.
As we look in at Corey Iyyoob's first time on play-by-play.
Here's Cavoli now, playing tight defense.
Yeah.
Throws it into the post to Chulo, and there's 2 points. But some shooting struggles. 3 for 12 from the field, looking for some answers. There's a 3 ball from the Pacers, and that's in. Great shot. McDonald, bounce pass to Kendricks. Might be a 3. She got it to go. Cantor looking for somewhere to pass. Gets it inside to Chulo. One hand and in. Inas inside, good defense by McDonald, and she takes over in transition. McDonald to Chulo, and it's in. Getting going. Pacers defense been really good. McDonald, floater, foul, and 1 after the miss. Kendricks, Blume for 3. That's good to go. 4 of 8. They've missed a couple free throws. Here's a 3 ball, Cavoli. That's good to go. And Cavoli finding her rhythm. Blume, they kick it out. 3 ball. It's good. The Pacers, 3 straight wins.
The third and final Pacer we're welcoming on is Mia Blume. Mia, thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Now, I want to bring this up before we get into the next game. You transferred over to Marywood last season, but, another coaching change. So you've had 3 different coaches in 3 years. How do you continue to adapt with different cultures, different teammates, and different coaches?
Well, this time around, I actually knew Coach Machako before this, so going into this one, I was really excited about it just because prior to knowing her and everything. So this one around, I was just super excited. I really wasn't nervous at all, and I just knew that she could put us in the best positions this year.
Mia, from the games we talked about, you've had some efficient shooting. When do you know you're getting into a rhythm?
Honestly, after probably the second make, I'd say, and then all my teammates, they're great at just getting that energy to me and telling me to keep going, and I think that's super important to have a team behind you like that, telling you to keep shooting the ball, and that's what I did this year, so.
Bouncing off efficient shooting, one of your best shooting games was against Corinne. When a team like that's playing zones as a lethal shooter, your eyes just kind of, light up knowing you're to get those looks.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that's always known in basketball. When you see a zone, you're excited if you're a shooter. So I think going into that game, we knew they played a zone, and we were ready to put each other in the best possible positions to get the best shots. So going into that, I was excited knowing that, but still I knew that we had to get the job done and get a win.
The duo of Mia and Rachel really balled out in this game.
Yeah, Blume, 12 points, 5 of 7 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, 5 assists, really sharing the rock. And Rachel also 11 points, 3 of 6 from 3, and 4 steals.
Guys, we're talking about offense. What about the defense? 17 steals, 26 turnovers. They were pressing most of the game, lethal on the defensive end.
Lethal on both ends as the Pacers picked up their 4th straight home victory.
Cantor to McDonald. McDonald for 3. Bada boom! Cantor. Simpson again. Simpson for 3. She can match it. What a shot again. Blume to the corner to McDonald. Blume for 3. Money. Nothing but net right there. Not able to there. Kicking it back out. McDonald wide open 3. It's good. Simpson. Fake drive. Tipped a little bit to Blume. Open 3. Yes. Simpson for 3. You betcha.
Causing many errors.
Yeah, McDonald for 3. Yes. Stolen by Cavoli. Easy access for the layup. It's good. Saved. Bender back to Cavoli. To Cantor. Yes! Ball fake. Hendricks trying to get it inside. Cantor for three. Top of the key. Yes! What a win here by the Pacers. 77-52.
You know, guys, following up 4 straight home victories, the Pacers finally cooled down a little bit, lost to Lebanon Valley College, and then had a tough road loss against Elmira before returning home to face Delaware Valley University.
Yeah, and how about Mia Blume? I mean, 19 points, didn't miss a shot, didn't miss a three, and Olivia Trullo again with a double-double, 16 points, 12 rebounds, 2 steals.
That perfect shooting really helped out the percentage. I think they were 47% from three. That early run they went on really helped them down the stretch. I think an 11-2 run to start the game, it was big.
It was a great way to get back in the win column against Delaware Valley.
Blume, back to McDonald. In the corner, here's Cavoli for three. It's good. Megan Cavoli from downtown. Kicks to Blume. Back out McDonald for three. It's good. Rachel McDonald from downtown. Back to Blume for three. It's good. Blume from downtown. For Scavage. Skip pass in the corner for Blume. Open three. It's good. Blume is 2 for 2 from downtown. McDonald, that hesitation, quick swing to Blume. It's good. Blume from downtown, 3 for 3 tonight from downtown. Backdoor, didn't get it. Ben Bender fires away from 3. It's good. Ben Bender from downtown. McDonald in the corner. Blume. It's good. The perfect day continues. Leave it. It's good from downtown. It's going to do it. The Pacers hang on in a wild one.
We welcome back Rachel McDonald. Now, after that Delaware Valley win, you guys split against a couple of Penn State satellite campuses, beat Wilkes-Barre at home, and then lost to Altoona, which led to a game against Rosemont College. Now, Matt, I remember you and I were on this game, and they showed up about, 15 minutes before game time?
Yeah, man, we were shooting around before the game. You know, I was having a good time. I was making shots, but that was definitely interesting start.
You know, speaking of making shots, Rachel, this was at that point of the season was your career high. You dropped 25 points. Now, what was going through your head during that game?
Well, at first I was getting to the rim, and you just kind of gain confidence off of that. And then I started hitting a couple shots. So that's what was going for me.
I guess to piggyback off of that, I mean, when you know you're at 25, were you thinking like, maybe I want 30?
No, I definitely wasn't thinking about that. I just wanted to get the win and help my team as much as possible, to be honest.
You talked about gaining confidence, but when you're playing like that good offensively, do you think it just fuels everybody else on the floor defensively and offensively?
I mean, yeah, definitely. Like, that's the good thing about our team is, like, anyone can score at any given time. So we kind of feed off of each other in that aspect. So we definitely all fire each other up.
And that definitely was the case that day. 25 points, drove 4 threes, even grabbed 6 rebounds, and dished out 4 assists. Just an excellent performance overall.
And speaking of, we go to the defense. I mean, Pacers defense held them to 14% from beyond the arc and just 25% from the field. Just brick wall defense this game.
No, it was the intensity was there from the start, right? I don't think anybody likes starting the game late, so everyone came out ready to play. The defensive intensity was there, and it led to an impressive victory.
As we look in on that impressive victory against the Rosemont College Ravens.
But they are able to keep possession. Cantor for 3. Yes, sir! Miranda Cantor, which I don't think anyone on the bench can really argue with, as Bittenbender pulls, and Bittenbender makes that this afternoon.
Her and Kendrick
sinking 3. Bittenbender, other wing, connects again! Shot clock winding down. Got to get a shot off. McDonald from downtown Scranton. Of course! Rachel McDonald with a deep 3 ball to extend this Pacer lead. Just thinking 2 for $1. Cavoli on the other side is able to put it home. Shot clock winding down, kicking. Cavoli 3, automatic. Megan Cavoli, her second 3 ball, assisting. Definitely the reason the Pacers are up as she pulls from 3 again and connects from 3 again. Marywood wins.
We welcome back Mia Blume. Now, after that Rosemont game, it wasn't really smooth sailing. You guys did pick up a victory against Kings, lost a couple games in your Nashville trip, and then started conference play 1-4 before returning home to face Centenary in a game that you really thrived in.
Yeah, after that first half of conference, I think coming home, we knew that we had to turn things around. And that whole week, like those practices leading up, we knew what we had to do. And it was just a great energy to have. So going into that game, I knew we were all ready to play. And it just happened to be a game where I shot very well, so I'm very thankful that I did. But I think that was a team effort turning around in the season.
Yeah, and to piggyback off that, you and Rachel were shooting lights out in that game. Did you guys kind of start depending on each other, like looking for each other since you both were shooting the ball so well?
Yeah, I think sometimes we joke about just like being a three-point shooter together, like doing a duo together. So I know like there are points I remember I made a skip pass to her and she made that, and I was happy to see that go in. I remember she was struggling a little bit in the beginning, but then she made that, and seeing her make that, it just like gets you so excited, just like your teammates and everything.
Was that game against Centenary a little kind of more just like personal? Because I know it was a back-to-back. You guys lost by 30 at their place. Was that game just a little more kind of, fired up, ready to play?
Yeah, definitely. After going there, that's not the outcome we wanted, but I think coming like home and playing, we knew that we had to turn things around, and we were just fired up to play that game. You don't want to lose a game by 30 points in a conference game, especially. So coming home, I think we had something to prove, and I think we did that game.
The duo of you and Rachel combined for 40 points on very efficient shooting that afternoon.
And Chulo also showed up, got her 5th double-double of the season, 13 and 12, and again, just all-around great effort by the offense.
Lights out from beyond the arc. I mean, 60%. If you're shooting 60% from three, most of the time you're walking away with a victory, and you saw it right there.
As we look in at the big victory against Centenary University.
Driving baseline. The extra pass, Blume thinking three, and getting three. Mia Blume, her first triple of the night. Cavoli jumping in the passing lane, out in transition, off the glass and in. And gives to McDonald. Now Blume, shot clock winding, Blume pulling, off the glass and in. Most banks are closed this late, but not in Insulaco Arena. Mia Blume feeling herself early. Blume cross court. McDonald wanting to get in on the action, and she does!
Travel can definitely wear down a team, Vin. And I feel like that's what's kind of happened here.
McDonald hits it! Kendricks finds McDonald. Another three ball and another connection! McDonald, shifty move, kicking Kendricks from the corner, and she converts! Cross court, Cavoli head full of steam. Kicking it back out, nobody near. Blume connects from downtown. McDonald makes the extra pass. Will it pay off? Of course it will. Mia Blume. Handoff McDonald, pulling and hitting. Kick to the corner, Blume thinking three. Jackpot! Mia Blume! A new season high of 21! Kendricks. Now McDonald, nobody near. Makes some pay! And will dribble this one out as Marywood is victorious from Scranton, 68-50.
After picking up that big victory, they had Newman University on senior day next in a game that definitely kind of slowed the momentum that the Pacers had against Centenary.
Yeah, low scoring, kind of a nail-biter game. We saw Chulo again, another double-double, 17 and 10. Mia Blume again, 12 points, 8 rebounds, efficient shooting. And you want to tell us what happened?
I was on call, and it was a heartbreak. I mean, there were just too many turnovers late. I mean, they were up, 2 minutes left in the game, and just a couple of turnovers. And, you got to give Newman credit. They shot extremely well down that stretch, a 10-0 run, and, they stole a victory from us on senior day.
As we look back at that senior day sorrow. Possession sticking with Meredith. Thought possession was the other way. Bittenbender making them pay, working her way to the hole for her first points of the afternoon. Chulo from downtown makes them pay. Blume from downtown hits it.
Saw it right there.
Pass almost taken away. Bittenbender pulls. Bittenbender connects.
Just don't go your way right there, and that was one of them.
Klemic kicking to Blume from her hot spot. Automatic. Mia Blume. McDonald getting to the hole, finding Chulo, working her way, and the foul. Trying to work her way to the cup. Little bump and finishes over the defender. Tightly guarded from the freshman guard. As Holden takes it away, shot clock unplugged. Down low DuPont, and the Knights take the lead. Inbound Klemic, in trouble. McDonald with a prayer. Unable to see it in, and the Knights escape Scranton with the win.
We welcome back Megan Cavoli. Now, Megan, after that tough loss, we got to produce a video where we threw a hot mic on you. So we're going to check out a couple clips from that.
Oh God, see, everyone's gonna stand away from me now. Oh, we never even high five when we do the runs. We don't do it, Emma. That's scary. What did you say?
If that's on the film, I'm gonna be so mad.
Literally, I knew you were gonna pass it before you even passed it. And Faith probably did too. I know. I'll go defense.
So, Megan, before we get into the next game, I want to ask, how was it being mic'd up?
It was definitely fun, but it was a lot of pressure because I was worried about what I was saying. But I do talk a lot, so I was like, I don't even know.
You know, it was great to kind of have that come out after a tough loss, because then, I don't know, maybe it helped the momentum swing, but then you guys ended up hosting Gwen and Mercy in a game that a lot of you guys had a ton of success in. You set your career high in rebounds. Now I want to ask, is rebounding part of the game that you really hone in on at practice?
It definitely is, because like as a smaller player, it is harder to get rebounds, so I try to really box out, and all the drills we do in practice has helped me like produce and get rebounds in games.
I mean, 3 Pacers had career highs that game. I mean, when you see you guys playing that well, does that bolster the confidence as you're kind of closing out the season?
Definitely, and we do bounce off of each other, so when one person's doing good, then it like kind of hypes the other girls up, and then we have team success.
You know, you're up for every game, of course, but obviously coming off that just heartbreak against Newman, was that game really just kind of, you know, personal, and, you know, we're ready just to come away with like a big victory here?
It definitely was a little personal just because we had it in the bag, and then the end of the game, we didn't finish it. So we kind of knew like we should have won that game. So we came back to the next game and was like, we're going to get a win.
You know, that game against Gwen and Mercy, we mentioned 3 career highs. It seems like Stephanie Klemic and Megan kind of switched roles. Megan grabbed 9 rebounds. Stephanie assisted 9 Pacers throughout that game.
Well, you know what? I think that's just the beauty of this roster is that they can bounce off each other. There's a lot of chemistry, and that's why they've had a lot of success this season.
As well, Chula. She had her career high with 30, 12 of 16. She was just dominating inside, scoring at will. You know, an impressive victory off that heartbreak loss like we just mentioned.
I don't think you could have described it better. An impressive victory against Gwen and Mercy.
Cavoli with it. Kicking. Blume thinking 3. Shooter's touch. McDonald. A lot of contact. Kicks. Cavoli extra pass. Blume from deep. Of course, Mia Blume. Clement kicking. Talk about an open shot. McDonald hits it. With the shot clock winding down. Chulo jabbing, stepping back, and hitting. Enough game. Just need a lot of things to go right. As Blume pulls, that's one thing that goes right. Mia Blume. Slips the screen, pulls from deep. Of course, Allie Griscavage adding the 3 ball to her bag this season. McDonald, extra pass, Cavoli from the corner. String music to Blume. Time winding down. Fading away, it's good. Megan Cavoli with a difficult jumper. Back, Chulo pulls, hits. Kicks Klemic, Cavoli again. Cavoli making them pay. As the horn sounds, and your Marywood Pacers are victorious 77-55.
We welcome back Rachel McDonald. Now, after that Gwinnett game, unfortunately, you dropped your last 2 regular season games to Marymount and Immaculata, forcing you guys to be the 5th seed and have to work your way through the playoffs on the road, starting at Centenary. You know, I mentioned earlier about, at the time, you would set your career high against Rosemont. You set a new one against Centenary. So what was going through in that game that was really clicking for you?
I was just getting to the rim, and once you do that, you get confidence again. and you just kind of have to stick to what's working. And if that's what was working, then you just got to keep going.
What was your mindset going into that next playoff game against Immaculata? Because they, were really good this year.
Yeah, we know they're a very good team. They were undefeated in the conference. So we knew we could battle with any team. Like that first round of conference play, we kind of got like blown out. But the second half, we knew we could compete with these teams, and we've shown that. So we just showed up and just tried our best.
Let's take me back to that 255 mark, right? You dribble down the court, you swing the bender for a 3, and she bangs it. What's going through your head?
Oh, I was so excited because no one really notices some of those contributions, but like we wouldn't be here without her making that shot and all the other contributors to the game. So.
Yeah, you mentioned that big 3. Pacers are trailing for most of the game. They start trailing early in the first quarter and didn't come back until later in that, and was able to steal a victory away from Centenary in a game that it seemed like Centenary was going to win.
Not about how you start, it's how you finish. And, made some key shots down the stretch, got to the line, made some free throws, a key defensive stop, at the end, and they stole one there from Centenary.
I guess it goes back to the roster. How you said they have chemistry. They're a gritty team, and they never give up. And we saw that at the end of that game.
We definitely did as we look back at the AEC first round victory for the Pacers.
Cavoli has the ball, working on Opdyke, screen by Card. Cavoli, elbow jumper, good. Opdyke, screen by Card. McDonald, another step back jump shot. McDonald gets her space, she's going to make the shot. McDonald working on Sampon. McDonald able to go coast to coast for the layup. It's good. Kicks it to Olivia. Olivia, 3-point shot. Nothing but net. Screen by Labach. Screen by Card. Tanya Ellsbury able to help out, but Abel goes away. Rachel McDonald, left unattested. Scavage sets it, Opdyke goes under it, still guarding Cavoli. Cavoli, what a nice move. Cavoli running the point, she'll pull up, elbow jumper, it's good. Pacers have numbers. McDonald gonna slow down the offense though. Corner, 3-pointer, Billy Bittenbender, we got a tie ball game. 3-point shot. Off. 4-point game with 2.7 left to go. As Cavoli gets the rock, and the Marywood Pacers are going to advance to the next round as Cyclone season ends there.
Guys, after that game, they had to go up against Immaculata, who they had lost to twice during the regular season, but we've seen it in the past, both Division I, Division II, Division III, professional level, wherever. It is so hard to beat a team 3 times in a row.
Yeah, and didn't work out in the Pacers' favor. We saw some great performances, though, from Megan Cavoli. 11 points, 4 of 9 from the field, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. And Olivia Chulo, again, 14 points, 6 rebounds, but just was not the score they wanted to see.
It was just a tough bid. They went on to win the conference championship. They ended up playing in the tournament. Just, an impressive season by them. It was a tough ask.
As we look at the final game of the Pacers season.
Back to Chulo. 15 on the clock. Works on the screen from Clement. Chulo puts up a 3. It's good. Allowed down low in the paint area. McIntyre's going to have to work through that. McDonald puts up a 3. It's good. Cavoli. Chulo. Chulo puts up a 3. It's good. Cavoli puts up a 3. It's good. Works up another screen. Donna puts up a shot. It's good. Works through the screen. Tipped long, but picked up by Cantor. Cantor's looking. Puts up a 3. It's good. Cantor with a 3. Cantor's looking. Gets it across to Chulo. McDonald. Wide open 3. It's good. Can't give her a wide open 3 like that. Inbound to Clement. Wide open layup is good. And that will do it. Immaculata is underway back to the Atlantic East Conference Championship game.
Unfortunately, they lost to Immaculata, ended their season, but a good season at that. They went 13-14, won 9 of their 14 home games, the most since the 2015-16 season. Just a great year for the Pacers.
Yeah, and also a part of that really good team, Olivia Chulo, AEC first team. We saw that coming. It just seemed like every game she was getting a double-double. Just really good season for her.
Yeah, Stephanie Clement finished all-time, program leader in blocks with 103. Just a, great accomplishment, and a great career.
Unfortunately, that loss to Immaculata ended their season, but the Pacers had a much better year than they did last year, and you could tell the vibes around the team were much better. They did finish 13-14, They did go 9-5 at home, their most home victories since the 2015-16 season.
And again, a standout player, we've said her name a lot, Olivia Chulo, AEC first team. We expected that. It seemed like every game she was getting a double-double, just a powerhouse on offense again this season.
Yeah, Stephanie Clemic, she finished a great career with a great accomplishment, finishing as the program's all-time leader in blocks with 103. So, tremendous accomplishment there.
Clemic, one of the 3 Pacers that are graduating, and you never want to see them go. But head coach Tara Machaka really setting a good culture for the future. What can we look forward to with this Pacers team?
A lot. I mean, going back to that, I think Machako did a really good job in her first year back, and I think the vibes are high. They, made the playoffs again, and I think they have a good chance of even getting an AEC title next season.
Absolutely. With how much freshmen played and they played in key situations, they're going to be very experienced for this upcoming season. We'll see what else they do in the portal to add on.
We want to thank Mia Blume, Rachel McDonald, and Megan Cavoli for joining us tonight. I mean, it was such a pleasure to have them on.
Yes, and we're excited for next season. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be on campus because I'm graduating, but, I'm always going to support, Pacer faithful.
Yeah, can't thank our guests enough because, not a lot of, programs get to do this, so it's really awesome to kind of, bring this exclusive experience.
That's going to do it for the 2025 Women's Basketball Courtside Callback presented by TV-Marywood. For Corey, Iyoob, Matt Anastasi, and everyone here at TV-Marywood, I'm Vincent Goldschmidt. So long, Scranton. Johnson slams it home!
We're playing really hard and we're playing really unselfish.
Blume wide open corner 3. String music!